Hello, everybody, and welcome to Down the Rabbit Hole with Alice Hatter. My name is Alice Hatter, and I was born and raised in New Orleans. I'm at the end of the millennial spectrum, but just before the bridge of Gen Z. On today's episode, we'll dive into a harmless opening story to make everybody giggle. This is titled Millennial Ghosted by Gen Z. So, I was on Tinder after a minor setback in love where I saw this lovely, adorable man. He was so cute. Everyone I match with, no matter how attractive, I seem to kind of ignore at the beginning until they somehow grab my attention. When we first matched, he just followed me on Instagram. We didn't message much. He watched my stories a lot at first. Then after about 2 weeks of watching my stories, he decided to message me. He seemed super sweet, cute, in law school, the total catch. The only issue, he was Gen Z. Now, I never dated in the Gen Z pool. It was maybe a 6-year difference. I tried to make it seem like not a huge age difference because, hey, is 6 years really that big of an age difference? I don't know. But I went with it. I recently started working remote again, and I followed these funny work from home joke pages on Instagram. And there was one account that, made fun of millennials by, being in a Snuggie on their laptop. And they made fun of Gen Z. They just wouldn't even be in the chair at all. Funny, right? I thought it was funny. So the chuggy millennial that I am, I was intrigued. I was like, what does this fine Gen Z want with me? We talked enough that he eventually adds me on Steam and Discord. I did not know what a Discord was until this Gen Z boy, but it's actually really cool. You can game and talk to people at the same time. He taught me what Discord was. So he asked me to play Left 4 Dead 2 with him. This made my heart sing. I love that game. It's got a special place in my heart for many reasons. I was so excited to play with him. We had a date set up. I got off work that day. I tried not to take a nap, but I was exhausted. I really tried not to take a nap, but I ended up passing out. I woke up around midnight and he sent me a message asking me if I was ready to play at 8 p.m. I felt terrible. But the next day, he was still down to play. So I was like, let's go. So we log in. We got our Steam going, got the Discord going. We start the game. We get into the game and he's like, okay, my computer's lagging. It won't let me start yet. I'm trying to play it cool. I'm like, okay, no worries. I used to work in IT. I know weird stuff happens all the time. Take your time. I'm just talking. I love talking. So I'm just talking to him, right? My character is on the roof of the building and the bots are up there. And I'm just talking to this guy while his computer is lagging. And I'm noticing we're not even playing at all. I'm just waiting for him to be like, okay, let's go or whatever. And he's talking to me and I obviously want to start playing. So I'm like, can we play yet? And he was like, almost, maybe. So I'm waiting and I'm just talking to him and he's like, maybe we can start soon. I don't know. Then he's like, okay, let's go. So we finally enter the building. And all the freaking zombies are already dead. I was like, what the heck? There's nothing to kill down here. This is not how the game goes. What do you mean? Now, there's a couple days later, I realized chances are he lied to me when he went down there and he killed all the zombies before I even had a chance. So his numbers would look way better than mine at the end of the game. Because at the end of Left 4 Dead 2, when you complete a mission or whatever, they do the screen calls or they roll the credits of how good you did. So yeah, he went down there and he killed all the zombies and I was confused, but Captain Hindsight, hey, now I know. But I was cool with it, whatever. It was still better than having to get dressed up to meet another stranger at some bar past my bedtime on a Sunday, you know? I mean, being an attractive female, it gets really exhausting. You know how many matches I have on that app? If I had to go out with every single one of you guys on a date, I wouldn't be able to work a full-time job. So I've come to the computer to help me decipher if somebody is worth my time or not before I get dressed up and we go meet past my bedtime on a Sunday, because it's not happening anymore. But yeah, so all in all, I had a ton of fun with him. We had a decent amount in common. That was obvious from the 7 hours we played Left 4 Dead 2 on our first date. It was great. So the next day, we're texting. We're not texting. I don't have his phone number. I never had his phone number. We're Insta messaging, blah, 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 and then he's done with law school. I'm done with work. And he's like, let's play. So we played Left 4 Dead 2 for another 7 hours. Now, let me tell you, my sleep schedule was a little messed up because I love going to bed early, but he was fun enough to talk to, good enough at the game that I was down. So we played again, talked a bunch, super cool. We were messaging, and, he had expressed while we were playing that his law school exams were going to start. And I mean, I looked up the date. He wasn't lying about that or anything. Definitely is still working on finals right now while I'm making this video. So we just kind of slowly stopped messaging as much, but we were still messaging a lot. But yeah, he never asked me to play Left 4 Dead 2 again, and you might notice why if you're watching this video. I mean, I'm not great at video games, but I really like them. I mean, when I was robbed at gunpoint once, and after that, all I did was play Skyrim. I mean, when you can't trust anyone in your life, video games can be incredibly therapeutic, you guys. I would not knock it before you try it. But yeah, so we're still messaging each other like crazy back and forth. He had his law school finals coming up. I suggested we wait to meet until after his finals because I didn't want to distract him too much, and we're already messaging a lot. And he kept being so sweet. I really did want to meet him. So one day I was like, hey, do you want to FaceTime on Friday? I wanted to make sure this guy was real before I kept talking to him and liking him, I mean, I wanted to make sure he was at least who he says in the pictures. So I was like, let's FaceTime since we're not actually going to be able to meet for a month. And he was down, and that was awesome. And I was really excited. But the day after I asked, we hardly messaged. And then he finally starts having a conversation with me later that evening. And he says something weird. He's like, I just want you for your rock collection. And if you know me, I don't have a rock collection. I have a mineral collection. So I was like, they're minerals. And I know you're not after my minerals. What are you really after? And then this is when things got a little strange. He goes, the drugs. He told me he didn't even smoke weed or anything. And I was like, what drugs? And then he was like, no, I'm going to steal your PC in case I need backup. And I was like, what? And he was like, sorry, that was a joke. Then he was like, the honest truth is I'm looking forward to taking my time to get to know you and having a relationship with you. Now, this is where the miscommunication really got out of hand because I was hurt. Okay. When he said he was going to steal my PC, the mineral collection, whatever, that's cute, you're funny. My PC, So, yeah, I was not totally down. If you say you're going to steal anything from me, my ass is gone. I'm not inviting you to my house. You made me feel real weird when you said that. I don't care if you're at Loyola Law or you're at Harvard Law or you're at Tulane Law. It's going to be all right. I responded. I was like, okay, cutie. but you're not invited to my place. We can take things nice and slow. You need to hold the door open for me when we go out. It's really not that hard. You need to be real good at blackjack because everybody knows I love blackjack and I'm really good at blackjack. You need to have soup around for me at all times. You need to have enough soup in the house. I love soup and I need soup. And if you don't tell me I'm pretty all the time, I might not even want you around. It's the honest truth, you guys. I had to be blunt with this guy. So the next morning, I wake up, no response. He unmatched me on Tinder, blocked me on Insta, blocked me on Discord, and unfriended me on Steam. To say the least, I was very, very disappointed. This guy was obviously the love of my life, you guys. He was obviously the love of my life. We played Left 4 Dead 2 for 7 hours, 2 nights in a row. He texted me with the best responses consistently for a week, y'all. For a whole week. He was the love of my life. And he ghosted me. I got ghosted by Gen Z. So, and I didn't even meet him yet. I mean, usually millennials will wait to actually do the dirty before they ghost. But Gen Z, it seems like maybe they're more after just somebody to talk to than anything else, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like we were both responding with like trauma responses at the end of our fling. It was just trauma responses. We were getting close. We obviously were building feelings for one another, and we just couldn't handle it. That would be my guess. I don't know. But hey, I will never know if he's real. We're going to call him Plato. Plato a hoe. Follow me on Discord. We're going to call him Plato. Plato, if you're out there, are you real? Are you real? And you ghosted me. I was ghosted by Gen Z. Now, comment below if you're also a millennial who's been ghosted by Gen Z. It's like we legit do have to push for each other. We got to push each other away. And that's what we did. It was a perfect lesson. And that perfect lesson led me to a very curious plan, which I will go into more detail with the next couple of videos. But this inspired me, another minor setback in love with Alice Hatter, down the rabbit hole. Yeah, well, that's the reason they're called lessons, everybody, because they lesson from day to day. And I hope you all have a fantastic day. And I want to thank you for tuning in